Tune on camera. We don't see that very often these days. Wow, the sun's out. We had a full day of rain yesterday. Absolute nightmare for the goats. Trying to keep them dry and clean and full, but today the old currant bun is out in all its glory. So it's now around about midday. All the pastures nice and dry. So we've got them out. They can fill their boots. A couple of you have been asking how they're getting on. Yeah, it's still a real big struggle, but they're an incredible bunch, really. The herd's done very, very well.
I'm gonna call Kai here, but I'm not logging it.
No, she's too busy playing anyway. Kai Muk.
ไข่มุกมาหาประตูนไหมมาเร็วประตูนรออยู่
I think that's a no thanks, Auntie Toon.
She say come in.
Oh, does she? Oh, Toon's just spotted a crab in the bit that we're going to drain next.
นี่ประตูนอยู่นี่
Just in the shallow bit
มา
there.
เดินมาตรงนี้
She wasn't busy blasey-blahing. I'm sure she'll be in
มา
there.
เร็ว
I thought you'd get it.
How many crab there?
Flipping
For
hundreds.
one crab.
Oh,
You not get one
you've
crab
changed, you have. Before, you were in straight in there. I don't even know you these days.
Neither.
You don't know yourself?
No, I don't know you either. You made me work hard.
The old scam trap's looking a bit worse for wear.
Honey, you should put a tooth.
I should do, yeah. Let's have a look.
ไข่มุกอยู่ไหนลูก Okay.
Oh, couple of crabs, couple of fish, I think.
Yeah, crab come up.
Ah. It's because it seems to be a rubbish trap. Oh, I can't be bothered. Wife special purchase off Lazada. Water levels dropping nicely now. Probably about half an inch a day or so. Brilliant. Palms are lush.
Honey, if you come here again today, can you show him that palm nut there
Yeah.
and ask him what is
What to do with it? Yeah, okay.
and when they're ready.
One of Toon's brothers is here at the moment just for a day or two, and he's been growing these palm nuts for quite a few years. So now that we've started to get some nuts forming on several of the trees, we'd like to pick his brains whether we should just strip them off or not, or maybe take off the male flowers or not. I don't know. So mind you, last time he came here, he told me off for putting too much manure around them. The one that I put most round got the most nuts. So here she is, Kai Muk.
Jim put standing net along here, na.
Hello.
Hello ดิ Hello ลุงลีดิ
Bit grumpy today.
นี่ลุงลีไม่ได้เปิดกล้องหันดิ Hello Hello ดิ
What happened to you today, Mrs?
เนี่ยลุงลีถามเป็นไรบอกดิลุงเล็กทำอะไรหนู
Nearly involved in a crash on the motorbike with Uncle Lek.
เดี๋ยวเราก็จะลง
There's Lucy over there on the left.
เดี๋ยวเราก็จะลงกันอีก
Skinny Lucky. Star. Who's that in there? Can't really see. Lilu, Ringo, Namdan. See my mulch is a living mulch now. A hyacinth.
หญ้าเยอะมากเลย
Finally, the water's receded here.
หญ้าเยอะมากแพะก็ชอบ
No
กิน
longer got a
มาก
river going over the road. So now it's sort of like towards the end of the rainy season. It's good that a lot of the water's been held back. So it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, isn't it? You don't want too much water for too long, but then when it starts dropping the levels, you want to try and preserve as much as possible. So you can see it's almost gone from this side now. The alligator weed is taking hold that I took out. Ridiculous hyacinth. It's so tall, it's never ever been this tall before. Really good. I'm gonna have to get down to my budgie smugglers and start hoiking it all out, as we're definitely going to be pumping the water out of here and harvesting whatever fish that have got out of the lake and still in there. The bamboo has gone bonkers. We still haven't been in there and took out the remaining dead bits. You can see this was one of the worst ones here. Still quite a few dead shoots that need hacking off. But yeah, it's brilliant. So although it's quite green in there, it's not nowhere near as thick as the vegetation out here. We're not bothered about that at all. Cover that ground up, that's what it's all about. We didn't get a second flush of mushrooms in there. It's normally this time of year you get a second flush, and after the persistent rain we've had, I thought, alright mate, yeah, oi, settle down mate, yeah, Napier and black sugar cane. Let's have a butcher's. These palms at this end have probably had the least out of everything. Biochar, chip-ins, mulch, chop and drop. So
someone come steal my leaf.
Ta-da! So we've got some Napier growing here. This tune's just put in randomly, and some black sugar cane. What's so special about the black sugar cane then, missus?
I've got no idea, but they say it's a good medicine, but I don't know how they
Medicine sugar cane? Oh, for us or the goats?
for humans.
Oh. It's good for humans, it's probably gopping, isn't it? Bullseye's all good. He was a bit under the weather for a little while. He lost some weight and he was crying a bit. So vet tune, she's got the old nurse's outfit out and gave him a few shots, and yeah, he's picked right up. He's looking a bit skinny. He's only had his leukemia so far this morning. An hour out here eating at that rate of knots, he'll be like a bloody rain barrel. I was getting a little bit concerned for him. I think he'd been on what I call a goat shag fest, and when he's busy doing the do, he seems to forget to eat, whereas myself, after you've done the do, I'm quite peckish, so I took into anything that's in the immediate vicinity, whereas he gets all romantic and There's little April. Nicknamed him a little nugget. There we go, eh? Squeaky April. Not going to squeak for camera though. Right, this palm is getting a bit overgrown, which I don't normally mind, but when it's the climbing stuff, this really needs to come out. The goats will have it, but the goats aren't coming out much at all until the dry season. So it's only when you get a really dry day like today we let that out, have about an hour. Any more than that, it's about an hour and a half, but any more than that, the old cleaning out the house the next morning is not a pleasant experience. I quite like sweeping up goat poo, but only when it's the black jelly beans, nothing that resembles anything on a larger scale. Noi on the right. Doris, our vampire goat here. We're mates, but not when she's full on eating. There we go. Nice one. Jingle in the background there. Yo-Yo, one of my favourites. Good girl, aren't you? She's quite heavily pregnant now. And your missus, eh? Cleo, short for Cleopatra. 2 socks in there. Oh, it's a bit squidgy here. Normally we'd be like, oh god, we can't let them in here because there's still a bit of water underneath, but because the forage is quite tall, you can see that their heads aren't right down. They're picking the tops off stuff. No way we're gonna continue to let them eat short forage. You know, it's been an expensive learning curve, really. You know, we've had some really sick animals. You know, forage that's too short, contaminated with parasites. You know, it's too wet, and yeah, it's been quite, what could we say, a steep learning curve. That's the thing with livestock farming. When you're learning stuff and get it wrong, it can be quite expensive. Not just when you lose an animal, but you know, they might lose a kid, or it might knock them up for a few months, and you know, they're not really up to breeding. So yeah, we've lost quite a few months, sort of like studding or whatever you call it, with goats, and yeah, it's going to take us a little while to get back. That combined with the chemical poisoning from over the road, it's been a double whammy, as we say. But you know, most of them are tip-top condition now. They're a little bit dirty because they're cooped up in that small house. We're still quite some way off being able to get these goats back on the island. All right, Sir Francis. Yes. I know, girl. Flying solo, eh? A lone wolf. Right, for those of you that have commented on the what would you do if this was your fishing lake video, thank you so much for your comments and your ideas, you know, and options that or ideas that could be potential options for us on what to do with this. We're very, very close to finalizing our plans for this, in regards, you know, something for the goats and something for people to fish. So I'll cover that in another video. We can't 100% finalize it yet because we want to pick the brains of Macro Man when he comes. So still not much point in getting him in yet, because he can't even get on the island. But yeah, it's dropping now. I would say since the last video it's dropped about 2 inches. It's dropping now about the same rate of knots as the ponds nearer the house. Once the dry season's well and truly with us and we can see the shelf, then Macro Man will be in. Once all the work is completed, then we're going to suck just about all the ponds bone dry and pump the water into the lake to help raise the levels and empty a lot of stock into here. That is going to be an exciting, but more than that, a knackering couple of weeks. You're looking at 2 days really to do each pond. So we'll probably get half the water down in an afternoon, and then the next morning up before it gets light, continue sucking all the water out. Oh, just seen a shoal of fish there now. Yeah, continue sucking the water out, and then by the time you get to like late morning, you're ready to net everything. So yeah, it's going to be knackering, but it's certainly probably the most exciting. I see them again. Most exciting part of life here on the farm. We're also, of course, going to do the drainage canal all the way round. So there'll be literally thousands of fish, and of course some big ones. It's lovely to see now. I remember all my work trips back to the UK, and a lot of the time I used to go on the minibus and the big bus. We used to stop off at a big garage, and it was always the same garage on the way, and they had quite a big lake, but they had a shoal of makongs and striped catfish, and you would see them out in the middle of the lake just porpoising, and you know, they'd be breaching out the water. It was an incredible sight, and ours have started to do it, although they're only a fraction of the size. So once we get the remainder in here out of the pond, which will be even bigger, yeah, oh, it just looks amazing. I know some of you are concerned, you know, or have reservations about people poaching, but I'm at an age now where I need 2 wees a night. Every time I get up, just have a butcher's out the window. We're out here catching frogs sometimes we're fishing ourselves, so it's not like we've got a set pattern going round and people are like, oh, 9 o'clock, those two will be asleep now, let's go and empty the place. Also, Toon's nephew's around here on and off. No one knows where he is after time, and so you know, anytime he sees anyone in the vicinity, he just turns his torch off and he'll sit somewhere out of shot and keep an eye on people. But touch wood, no dramas since the first week that we moved to the farm almost 4 years ago. It is just so nice to get some proper weather, or proper good weather. Goats are, they're like a different animal once they get the sun on their backs. Same as me and Toon, actually. I don't mind sweating and feeling my skin melt a little bit. Just let everything dry out. It's fantastic. Just walking through grass that isn't absolutely sodden is brilliant. Down here the water level has come up quite a lot in the last 24 hours because of the rain. It's because it's quite shallow here and everything sort of like slopes down to it, so it does go up and down quite quickly, this little bit. But this is going to be developed a little bit. It's not going to take a lot of work, but we're going to get Macro Man to scoop out the middle a little bit and build up the sides neat and tidy so we can put a blue net round, and this is going to be our snail enclosure. That will then free up a lot of the tanks around the house so we can increase production again of the crayfish. Oh, okay then. We were going to drive the goats round the lake this way, but they've got other ideas. They've gone somewhere else. Not an issue. Yeah, so I'm going to do a crayfish video soon because we've made a bit of an amendment to our juvenile crayfish that we're trialling at the moment, and I think there's a good chance it'll work. But yeah, I think that requires a dedicated video. Right then, going to help the missus round up the rabble, and I'm not sure if we're going to have time for a little bit of fishing today. Oh no, I can't. I've got to do my biochar. Be a video about that soon as well, because the biochar operation is in full swing now. Sherbet, no weeing on camera please. It's not very ladylike. Hey Sherbet, there's your smile. Hey, there we go. There we go. Lovely girl, ain't you, eh? Lovely girl. Ah? We got a goat tsunami. Oh no! Oh no! You don't do running, do you, Tequila, eh? Even Brownie broke into a jog there. Natasha, come on. Ringo. Bye. Bye. Shrek. Here it goes.